special to me, and it ended up raining while the sun was out. And that
It's precious. I
That's
love
the notebook.
That's
I
cool.
love it.
yeah,
It does, because I'm not dropping it low and spreading it wide for coffee.
The
Right.
march
So
of our grandparents. But are we gonna put more with that march in that prayer? What action are we gonna put in place? And that's
I like chilies though, but listen, Trump.
hey, we're live.
hey, folks, welcome to the TFG family and viewers. Welcome to our first episode of Ladies' Point of View with these beautiful women here with me. And we'll all introduce ourselves individually. My name is Devin. And who else we got up here with us?
I'm Courtney Nicole. Hi, everybody.
I'm Rue. Hi.
and I'm Lucretia. Hello.
And on our channel, we are going to be hitting multiple areas. Of course, this is a political channel, but us being women and opinionated as we are, we're going to make sure we hit up multiple topics, and which we'll also be doing today. But if you ladies don't mind, let's start off talking about this election season. Courtney, what are
Yeah.
some of your thoughts about what's going on now?
So I'm just first of all, I'm just really excited to see Donald Trump feeling very uncomfortable. To see him basically just not trying to give up, not trying to concede the presidency. It's a little scary. I'm not going to lie to you because he's definitely, radicalizing his followers and the masses. But I just find it really interesting that, you know, their whole premise is that it's America and it's this and it's that, this is our country, but they don't follow any laws, nothing that has to do with the Constitution, nothing that has to do with the founding principles of the country. Yeah, and they just pretty much do whatever they want to do. It's just interesting to watch, to say the least.
Mm, mm. Rue, how do you feel?
That's how I feel. I don't know about the election. Okay, so when Trump got elected the first time, I said this is gonna be different. This is gonna be interesting. And then now you got him up for re-election, and it's still the same thing. This is a let me watch my mouth. This is a shit show. This has been a shit show. It's
Understand.
gonna be a shit show.
Understand.
Nothing's gonna change for me. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lucretia.
Okay, well, let me come in and play a little bit of devil's advocate. I am not a Trump supporter at all, but I am glad that he was elected because Trump and his Trumpeteers gave a lot of people the courage to come out and be who they were. So there was a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people that needed to be exposed that was in our government that was going to keep people of brown tones down. We didn't know who to get rid of before Trump was put in office because they kept what they really thought about us in their little bag zipped up and in their pocket. Since Trump has been here, he's made them all feel like, oh, they can say whatever they want, however they want, to whomever they want, and get away with it. Now, since we have a new administration, we can go in there and we can start putting them people outside of the White House, outside of the Senate, and we can get some folks in there that's really going to try to help and make a difference for us. So, I have mixed feelings. I'm glad he's voted out. I'd be glad when he gets his behind out of there. Stop wasting our time because I'm tired of seeing him on TV. But I am
Yes.
thankful minutes
They've
that he was there.
been doing that. And nothing
What'd you say,
has changed
Rue?
when it comes to white supremacy or anything like that. It's still the same. They can say whatever they want to say. They've been saying whatever they wanted to say. Just because Trump is office, that does not make any difference.
Mm-hmm.
The UK people are like more vocal now, and that's because I feel like Trump was necessary. This is the only time that black people
Yeah,
have actually like just raised up since the 60s and said, hey, you know what, this shit is not flying.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time you seen it like get this outrageous since the 60s?
Right.
So it
exactly. That's what I said. I'm not a supporter of Trump, but I'm glad he's made some people a lot more brazen. so we know who to look. I would prefer to know the face and the name of my enemy and what I'm up against than be sitting beside them and they're looking at me saying, "Hey, I like you, I love you," and they really don't mean it.
I think
I totally agree. And my opinion on this election season is it's been insane. I despise Donald Trump for multiple reasons. I was actually a kind of a fan of him before he became president, but I believe he has allowed the chaos and the extreme racism that has come out while he's been president. And I also agree, especially that with what you were saying, as far as I kind of know where everyone stands now. And I kind of appreciate, I'm not gonna lie to you, knowing how some people feel because, and it's funny because I actually said this to coworkers, being the only Black person in my position in my field. You know, I don't need you to be fake. I don't need you to, don't invite me to your house. Don't have me in your life if you feel a certain way towards me. Of course, everybody's always correct. But I think that it's almost made politics it almost feels like a gang to me. You know, whether you're Democrat or Republican, it's like you're in a gang and you kind of anti each other, and it's made people who are Republican for the right reasons uncomfortable. I don't like that, and it's made people who are Republican not able to be Republican during this election because they didn't want to be judged or they felt uncomfortable. Donald Trump lost for a reason. He won for a reason previously, but he lost for a reason this time because even the people who are Republican, especially a lot of Black Republicans, because there are a lot of Black Republicans, it's made them also not feel comfortable voting Republican because he has allowed and accepted the chaos. Because everybody says, you know, he hasn't said anything racist. He's not a racist. That's, I'm not gonna cuss. That's BS. Because your silence is just as loud as you speaking it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that I really love about what we have seen in the last 4 years is that we've gotten the opportunity to really see how white supremacy operates, right? It is not always the Klan member on your front porch on your lawn burning a cross. It's not always so obvious. Sometimes it's a little more insidious. Sometimes it is somebody throwing away that job application because you have an ethnic name, or sometimes it is somebody getting that training or that promotion because somebody, you know, has a bias towards you. So that is the one thing that I can honestly say that I do appreciate. And I think that also is interrupted some of the skepticism. Like, I think prior to this whole election cycle and prior to Donald Trump's term, I think it was really easy for people who are oppressed or people who don't want to see how the oppression works, real easy for them to ignore it and to kind of be gaslit by it. But now it's like all gloves are off. Like, you see it for what it is what it is, you know? So that's one thing I can say I appreciate.
What's up, bro?
so. I'm again reiterating. This is not nothing new.
Right.
So back in the day, you're talking about it really wasn't. You appreciate the fact that you could see it more in your face, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was in your face like a long time ago.
Oh,
Whenever the
sure.
Republicans would, whenever Black people wanted to vote before,
Mm-hmm.
they would suppress their vote. They would make it to where they couldn't go in and actually vote. So
Yeah.
that's the same thing as of now. So to sit there and say, okay, this is kind of acting like it's brand new. I can't see it like that. So when we're looking at Trump in the perspective of, oh, he's racist, and that's the reason why I don't like it, I'm looking at it from the perspective as pretty much majority of old white folks, rich white men, are going to be racist. So I already know
Sure.
what the enemy is.
Sure.
That's get it.
I mean,
So
but you and me,
You
we
know,
know that. Sorry, you and me know that. We know that it's blatant and we understand the way it functions. But I'm gonna wager to say that most people, most of us,
that's like a
don't.
blinder. That's sitting there looking. That's Black people looking the other way to me. How are you gonna sit there and know that that dude is being prejudiced against you, or not following EO guidelines, and you're not getting hired, or women are not getting paid at the same rate as men,
Mm-hmm.
and so you say, oh, I didn't know. I didn't
Did
know.
we know that though? Did everybody know that?
They knew it. It's called sweeping it under the rug. Oh, I can deal with this. We've learned to be tolerant. We've learned how to just
Well,
hold on to that and just say, oh, it's okay. I can deal with that. We are made strong. We're made to endure everything. And that's BS. It's at this point that Trump, I guess, pulled it out of everybody that was like, okay, I'm not doing this no more. Okay, this enough is enough. It should have been enough is enough. We've been fighting this. We've been fighting this. This is not nothing new, and it's been in our face the whole time. Nothing new.
if I may interject, I think, okay, Courtney said, did we all know that? Coming from me, I'm 40. My mom and dad knew of the struggles. My grandparents knew because they were there. But my 20-year-old daughter only knew what she had heard and had been passed down because a lot of her textbooks and information available had been whitewashed. I
Yes.
was able to relay some information, but I didn't have it firsthand. And so, yes, we did get kind of numb and tolerant to it. And with all of the stuff that's happening now, it has put it back on the forefront. So, we kind of got sleepy in it. And I hate to use that term, but all the stuff that's happening is waking up the generation that's going to make a difference. My youngest daughter is 13. And she heard some of this and she read a little bit, but I could go get her history books right now, and it may be a paragraph or two at most that I had to expand and expound upon. When she was writing her papers, I was like, where's the rest of the information? Who are the people you're talking about? Where is their support? The cast members to this show, this screenplay, they're leaving out the most important people. And so I believe with all this stuff happening, it's showing our younger generation, okay, look, are we going to be doing this again in 65 years? Or are y'all going to step up and we're going to keep this on the forefront? We're going to make them fix this now, and we're going to walk in this. We're not just going, I'm not taking anything away from our marches. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
The marches of our grandparents. But are we going to put more with that march in that prayer? What action are we going to put in play? And that's what I see a lot of my children's generation. Oh, they're disrespectful. Oh, they think they're entitled. No, they're ready to fight. This is wrong, and this is what we want to change. And I do believe it may not happen with this 4 years administration, but I don't think they're going to drop the ball. I think in 2024,
I think that a change will continue, because just me looking at my where the place where I work, we just hired actually a Black chief nursing officer, female, and I think that will continue to change as time goes on, because let's be honest, Black women are doing the thing right now as far as education, jobs, raising the kids. And I think that this would be a continued change. And believe it or not, while there are those, non-Black people, because I don't even want to say it's white people, because whether or not you know it, there's a lot of brown people that are anti-Black too.
Oh, yes.
But I do believe that while we have those individuals, believe it or not, folks, we also have a lot of allies that, and because we didn't win this election, Black people didn't win this election, there's not enough of us. Okay, Black people make up a very small percentage of the population. So there's a lot of people who are allies of us who also don't like and appreciate that the way things have been going. And so that has been changing. And I think that will be a continuous change, as time goes on. Do you guys agree?
You said one thing. You said there's not enough of us. And that part right there, I think this election, all this energy they put behind getting us out there to vote will show that there is enough of us. I believe there's enough of us, but there's not enough of us that have been exposed to the voting practices. There's not enough of us that pay attention to legislation. There's not enough that knows our mayors, our city government. So of course they're not paying attention to what else is going on. They just heard on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, oh, Trump ain't no good, and that's how they ran. Or Biden said this 30 years ago, and that's how they ran. I think the more we continue to educate, our numbers will go up.
Yeah, not to interrupt you, but there's enough of us to make a difference and put our voice out there. You see what I'm saying? But there's not enough of us as far as a population, meaning if every single one of us got out and voted, we still wouldn't be able to change the narrative with just us. You see what I'm
it's 13.
Oh, of
We're
course
13% of the
we need our
yeah,
population.
yeah,
allies.
yeah. And I do love that more of us are getting into, politics and wanting to change and, making our voices heard and things like that. Now, the younger generation, it's going to be hard to bring them all along because they have this attitude of they don't see and hear things like some of us who've been here a little while do. You see what I'm saying? So they don't see the racism and they haven't experienced the racism the way some of us have because unlike us, a lot of them have friends of multiple colors, and a lot of the young people don't act that way. They don't think that way. I have a daughter who's 17. Her best friend is Indian, a little girl named who's Indian. That's something I never experienced growing up. So there's lots of other people who are our allies, but there are also a lot of people who are brown who aren't our allies. So I just think we need to continue to do what we're doing to try to change, that narrative. And I hope it doesn't stop just because Mr. Evil's gone for the moment, and I cannot
What is
wait
the
to see him
demographic of
him out of the house. I am looking forward to it. I don't want him to concede. I don't want him to agree. I want him to keep that same energy.
Keep that energy, baby. When you
That
get
same
right across
energy.
that White
And I
House
want it
lawn.
on camera when the Secret Service is picking his fat, bad built, out of shape, high blood pressure, diabetes having ass up and dragging right out that White House. I'm so looking
like
forward to it. I know y'all do it
that
that
COVID
day so
vaccine
I
got
can
rid of
see
all
it.
that stuff.
Huh?
He in perfect health now. That COVID vaccine, drinking all that bleach, he done
Girl,
cleared all
his
that
fat
out.
ass didn't have COVID. Them folks lied. You can believe that if you want to. Ain't nobody getting
No,
COVID
ma'am.
on
I know
Tuesday
they
and
lied.
not having drinks on Thursday. I know, child, his fat ass didn't
We
have COVID.
all know
They
they
decided
lied. That was
they 40 had it.
before.
It may make a difference in this election, and they still didn't. Some people was wishing he'd die from it. His ass didn't have COVID. His ass may have had a cold or some allergies, but he didn't
That's what
have
I
COVID.
said.
Right? Anybody got any final thoughts and anything related to
I have one more thing. So